Here it is, the world's foremost symbol hitherto. Not wearing this could lead to a fine, could lead to not being able to receive service at a store, could lead to an escort outside the store by the store manager, and it could lead to disfranchisement from your own people. Lux Severitas. This is my script. You know now that this video is premeditated and that I have decided exactly on what to say in this video. I am Theron Misha. I am not an activist. I am not a humanist. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. For this video, I am Theron Misha, period. Here are some records for anyone interested. Born December 11, 1994, Tirana, Albania, second child. Went to all kinds of school, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, college. I'm just as normal can get. I have exhibited at no point in my life no genius, no protege, no ladies man, no captain of the football team. History is repeating itself. Now, before I explain the statement that I made, what I just said, here's a little history. Born and raised in Albania 4 years after the communist regime was overthrown by the benevolent forces of, I don't know who it was, probably the European Union, these so-called Democrats. From 1945 to 1990, that's 45 years, in case I didn't spell that correctly, Albania was under a dictator. So my family was born in a dictatorship. My grandparents too. Naturally, being born and raised in such a family, I received, whether did I like it or not, stories about the dictatorship. And I have listed the essentials, just to be clear. So, speaking up to the system could lead to being mocked at by a family. Take a moment to consider that, being mocked by a family. Disfranchised, jailed, and killed. Right. If y'all don't know, if you are still unaware of it, Stalin, Mao, Hitler, and also Enver Hoxha tortured, raped, and killed people for speaking up to the system. You could not go everywhere as a citizen. You could not buy everything as a citizen. You could not think everything. Certainly, you were not educated to have that kind of capacity. You could not wear everything. You could not sing everything, which means that all of what I've said, if it was not approved by the top of the hierarchy, you would get punished for it. People were allowed to walk on the streets at certain appointed times. Y'all know New York, you all know Rome, Milan. People stay out all night, have parties, walk drunk around the street, play games, scream. Even fuck in the middle of the streets, to be honest with you. that has to have happened, with people under the effect of alcohol. But the thing is that between 1945 and 1990 in Albania, you could not walk everywhere at any time during one day. People could only shop at certain times during one day. The story goes that to get milk, you had to get up very early because by noon the shop was going to close. The overall behavior mode of the psyche in those years is you did as everyone did, and everyone did as the dictator dictated. Now, why did I bring this up? Somewhere in the news, at some time during this pandemic, government has issued recommendations to buy only essentials, which is you could not buy everything. The script is still here. I have not deviated from the official story yet. At some point during this 1 month pandemic, Facebook and YouTube what is the easiest way to say this? Have denied access of people to free speech. It's very simple. Check it for yourself. And if you don't think that is the case, well, try to post something against vaccines, and you will and your ass will get fact-checked by the Facebook minions. Alright? If you don't believe me, try it. Just try this little experiment. Post something against vaccines, maybe a couple or 3 times. Do this for quite a long time, just to see. And you will receive something that would say, that is not good to say, little child. You shouldn't be saying that. History is repeating itself. Someone, I don't know through what legal means, is telling us what to wear, when we can buy, what we can buy. If this makes us eligible for service nowadays, if you don't have this, they have, I don't know if they do have this right. It doesn't seem lawful. But they are saying that if you don't wear this mask, we do not serve you, sir. Please walk out or we will call the police. So, the thing to notice here is, this is behavior regulation. Someone is telling someone else what to wear. And if that person doesn't comply, there are all sorts of consequences for that person. The question is, what legal basis does that have? I hope you noticed that when I spoke about communist Albania, that our constitution up until that point was violated. Our elders knew, and they didn't talk about it. They knew it's fundamental for a constitution to have free movement, free trade, and free speech. These 3 things are like in every constitution. Like, be my guest, just check it. Really? No big deal. If I'm mistaken, well, so much for the better for me. But since I'm still at this point, every constitution has at least free speech, free trade, and free movement of the adhering people. Right? We are compelled to move in a certain way. All right? Now, if you don't think that's the case, try go into a store and not maintain social distancing. 6 feet apart. Is that a compel to move in a certain way, or what is that? So to recap, I started off by saying that history is repeating itself. I presented to you the case of dictatorship Albania. I presented you the case of eligibility to be called a legal person. And I presented to you the case that what is happening here in the United States is just the beginning, similar to the way Albania began to turn into a communist state. Thank you for your time and for your understanding. Bye-bye.